Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Devsbooth, and welcome back to Borderlands 3. Today, we are going to be looking at the hotfixes that just came out. And so, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, guys, so we're back into it now. I am going to be going over the hotfix. It is live on PC, at least on my end it is. You're able to tell by the giant hotfix applied on the sign in the background early on when you sign in. And so there's a lot to cover, and there's a lot that is coming out today. And I'm actually very, very excited because one of my biggest things that I've had a problem with were grenades, and they buff grenades all out. I'll get more into it later, but they're now just beefier. Alright, and so the event will be going fully live today, the 20th, by 12 p.m. PST. Where I am, it is, was that 2:30? I'm AST, East Coast. Yeah, East Coast. So, at the very least, by the time this comes out, it should be up for everybody. With today's hotfixes, the Show Me the Iridium event launches. And basically what it is that there's going to be a lot more iridium dropping, and items that cost iridium will be discounted. This will be going on until the 27th of August at 9 a.m. PST, which, again, for me, I'm AST, that's a 4-hour time difference, so just Google it. You'll be able to figure out what it is for you. It'll be in the morning, so anyways. And then, alright, and so, obviously, besides the grenades, again, I'll get that more into that later. The next biggest thing, to me at least, is they replaced the Mayhem 4 gear with the Mayhem 6 gear in the Guardian Takedown boss pools. That means you can get things like the Monarch, which is a level Mayhem 6 exclusive. You can now get that from the boss pool, which ideally will make it more suitable to farm rather than getting dealt the level or the Mayhem 4, which isn't that great. Thus, you don't want to go farming for it. So, there's a bunch of different weapons for the Mayhem 6. I will most likely get into it later, but I just want to cover the basics for now. And then the next thing is the increased health of Titus, Herb, and Juno. I know it's Herb. In the Blood of Bounty DLC. And then there are some weapon adjustments. And to start off would be the monocle, which was a not. I don't know the right way to say this because a lot of my experience mostly comes from Mayhem mode as well as Jacobs. And all these guns, well, a lot of these guns aren't necessarily Jacobs weapons, so I can't really speak from my heart about how strong they are. But the monocle is getting a increased damage buff. The head explosion is also getting an increased damage buff, which is very good. It's not a bad weapon. Hopefully now it'll be more useful. The Storm and Firestorm have a reduced charge time, which honestly is, I haven't been able to see exactly how much of a reduction it is, but I think that'll make it more viable, and they both get increased damage. The ASMD, which was a it was not a good gun. I know I've been down on a lot of the guns so far. This one was like the real not good gun. But it has some increased damage now, and it slowed down the orb and increased the explosive damage. Sorry, explosion damage. That is different. It's not a torque. Well, it's not a torque explosion. The auto EMEA, increased weapon damage, also good. Looking forward to it. The recursion has an increased ricochet cap from 5 to 7. Now, just because the ricochet cap is increased doesn't mean that it will happen every single time, just that when it does ricochet, it can go up higher. So hopefully that means there'll be a better area of effectiveness. The Star Helix, increased weapon damage. The Ogre, which I liked the Ogre before. Just to start off, like I did not hate the weapon too much. It has increased weapon damage, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. The the Sawbar, which is from Borderlands 2, has increased weapon damage and increased the radius of the child projectiles. It has this thing where you fire it after a certain point, the bullets projectiles split one into three, and so ideally now you should be able to hit all three on the same target, because when they were a certain distance away, it'd be nearly impossible to hit all three projectiles on the target, making it'd be a crutch. No, not a crutch. I guess in this case it'd be a cane. It was a hindrance. The next weapon, the Damped. I'm not a big SMG guy. I was really into the SMGs in this game. That has increased weapon damage. The Smog has increased weapon damage and doubled amplified damage when weapon shield is at max capacity. As you use the gun, it actually regenerates your shield. So honestly, this may make it like an N tier weapon. Like this might be one of the new things to use. The Web Slinger has increased weapon damage. The Globe Trotter, increased number of shots before the weapon breaks. I mean, depending on how you use the gun, not bad, or it could be something like garbage. Not a huge fan of that one. The Juliet's Dazzle, level Mayhem 4. Mayhem level 4? Can't talk today, guys. Increased weapon damage. The Good Juju doubled the critical hit bonus per body shot. Super awesome, because the Juju, depending on the situation, can be extremely good. And then there is a general grenade buff. What that means is that every single grenade has a buff. I don't know how much of a buff yet. I don't think it's going to be like a set percentage like across the board, but I think there should be at least a minimum for the grenades, and then some grenades will be better, some grenades will be worse. But with that being said though, I'm excited for grenades to potentially be viable. One thing I noticed in this game, besides all the other things I noticed, was that grenades don't do you much. In Borderlands 2, you have the special edition, the Game of the Year edition. You get a fireworks grenade. You can use that bad boy basically up until the end of like your second run through. And then it was actually worthwhile to farm the legendary grenades, like the fastball in that game. You went out of your way to get the fastball in that game. The grenades in this game, I mean, they're kind of interesting, but so far they're not good. Ideally, now they will be more worthwhile. I'm not saying like insta kill everything, but at least, you know, make me want to throw it. Anyways, guys, that is the hotfixes for this week. Next week there will be some more hotfixes and the end of the Iridium event. And I think there's supposed to be a Mayhem event. Just let me one moment. I can actually check that out. It might be a Raid Mayhem. Honestly, I can't tell you at the moment. Oh, yeah, it's the Mayhem Made Mild mini event, which will be coming next week on top of the hotfixes. So, with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Leave me some feedback.